everyone. How are you? Oh, I'm Brinly. I'm your host of Brinly's Yapathon. And this week we're going to be talking about how I don't feel like doing anything. What I have been doing during this damn snowstorm. And then the usual. So, haven't wanted to do a goddamn thing. I've been sitting around this stupid storm. I don't know if anyone else gets these. Like, I know not everyone does, but some people do really badly like me. Where when, like, the air pressure changes due to a storm, you get just a massive raging headache. I've had that for, like, 3 days with this storm. And it's just like, ugh! Cold snowstorms. It's really taken a number on me. Like, I'm also, it's that time of the month for me because I'm just a girl. So double hell. It's like, it's been so pretty outside though, like, even though it's like dangerous. But like, it's nice to look at my window and be like, oh, it looks like a snow globe. So I guess that is the positive thing. See, I always try to be positive. But it has sucked. Which is why, like, I'm really good at being positive, even in really bad scenarios. Like, it's one of my true gifts in life. But this storm has really taken it out of me. I think that's the thing for us for perpetual hope, which having hope is a full-time job, because then you also are reminding everyone else around you to be hopeful. Like, being the positive one is such a task. It really is. And yeah, I've been trying to stay positive, but then when I'm in a bad mood, like, I feel really guilty as someone who tends to be super optimistic, super positive, and is the person who is essentially, because once you play that role in your life and in friendships, you're kind of expected to be that person who uplifts other people, and then when you don't, it's like, people can tell something's off, but I don't think they always put their finger on it, and then just, like, the energy's weird, which is, whatever, but it's just like, oh gosh, speaking, like, I can't think, like, I actually can't think, like, my brain has been soup, guys. I don't know if everyone else's has been, but this has felt like a mini COVID, even though, like, we've only been in the house, like, and everyone has really prepped for this storm, and at least here in New York, it wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be, but it's still, like, I don't know, the energy's a lot right now. I don't know if you all are feeling that just, like, nationally, and, like, it's just, I don't know, maybe I'm too locked into, like, the news, like, especially when I'm not feeling good, like, and I'm just on my phone, like, I scroll on TikTok so much, like, it's, like, bad, on top of, like, I don't feel good, like, I'm congested, I have a headache from this damn storm, it's my time of the month. And I have hormonal issues too, so that just, like, is heightening it. This is my shit pile. And actually, I took notes. What did I take notes on for this? Yeah, it's cold also on top of that, it's, like, it's cold as fuck in the apartment. I tried to make bread, and the air pressure messed up the bread, like, because of the storm. So my sourdough came out not as good as it usually does. Oh my gosh, like, oh my goodness, like, and it's just, like, so, but my point is, I was saying on TikTok, because then I'm not feeling good, and then I'm on TikTok, and I'm just, like, scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, perpetually for hours on end, and it's, like, then I'm too locked into the global situation where I'm already feeling shitty, and then I'm struggling to be optimistic because I don't feel good, so then I'm being negative on top of consuming this content, which I usually try to ingest in a more, clear headspace so that I can think rationally on it and try to come to, like, I try to not, the way I make it so I can ingest the global news, and, like, I had a friend recently say to me, like, talking about how, like, she was just, like, I don't really engage in the news, like, all that much because it's just too overwhelming, which I think really is, like, a valid thing, because we're not, like, I still think, like, as someone who is very locked into the news, of course, I think it's important, and I always encourage people, like, you have to stay educated on these things for your own safety and the people you love safety, like, it's just, where it's that important at this point, but at the same time, like, what comes with that is the reason you do have to pay so much attention to it is because it's so stressful. So I think it's really valid when, like, you know, there's a lot of very kind, good people who do want all the right things, but it's hard for them to stay informed. And I do think the people who can ingest it, I think it is our job to just, that's part of why we're so vocal about these things, so that, like, the people who can't handle ingesting the information don't have to be bombarded with it, and we can help explain it to them and keep them informed and safe and everything. Like, that is part of our jobs. But I want to say also, if you're one of those people who, like, I can't ingest it all the time, like, I've been thinking on that. I'm like, that is so, it's just such, and I think people, my friends who say that to me, I have multiple friends who say that to me, they're just like, it's just so hard to keep up with it. It's so emotionally taxing. It's so, you know, I think then a lot of people on the internet will shame those people and be like, now you have to, like, it's not a choice. And I'm like, that's just not helpful to the situation. And I think it is super valid because, like, this stuff is really hard, which is what I was going to go back to my point of, like, usually when I'm ingesting politics, I try to take it from I go into, like, logic mode. I'm able to compartmentalize like that. Like, that's just kind of how my brain works. And I'm able to disassociate. So I'm able to take my feelings out of it when I ingest the news. And of course the emotions do hit me, and I will sit with those, but I'll do those separately. Like, I ingest, that's how I ingest the news. Like, but I have this insane gift of disassociation. That's how I'm an actress. That's how I'm a writer. Like, I've literally trained my brain since I started doing theater and stage live performances. I mean, since I could speak. Like, I've been performing literally since I was, like, 4 years old. So every performance you ever do, and even something like this, which is a conversation, so I'm, like, locked in it, but I do have to have, like, a certain, it's a weird disassociation thing where I have to, like, I am talking to you guys, and I'm thinking about, like, different people I'm talking to, and just, like, different members of my audience stuff. Like, this is what I'm learning about podcasting, too, because it's its own art and everything of, like, how to have a conversation with the camera and a conversation with people who aren't sitting in front of you, and that takes a certain level of disassociation. We've done so many side points for me to get to my whole point, Jesus. But my point is, when I ingest the news, I am very gifted at disassociating, and so I will disassociate while I take in the information. I'll look at it logically, and I'll go, okay, I'll break down, this is what's bad that's coming out of this, and then I have to flip optimism brain on to keep myself going. That's how I stay on the hamster wheel of life, and I go, well, this is really bad, but this is how I see it playing out, and this is the good that will come out of it. And I decided to live in that reality of, like, always looking for the good news. Because if you only look at the bad news, you're just going to find more bad news. But if you look for good news in the bad news, like, you'll find it there too. And you just have to choose to live in that reality because, like, you know, you can believe it does nothing. I believe it does something. But, like, if you believe it does nothing, like, it still makes it easier to live that way, just knowing that, like, there is some kernel of good in the pile of bad, like, and then I'm gonna wrap up this point and then move on to my next one, but this is why it's called the Yapathon, because I'm just, but this is why I love podcasting, actually, is, like, a really nice, just, like, oh my god, I'm gonna vomit out my words, like, I just need to get this off my chest. What do you guys think about this? Because I'm going crazy, I'm losing my mind. Hi guys, I'm losing my mind. Does anyone else feel that way? Like, I'm telling you, this has felt like a mini COVID. Like, being trapped in, like, part of it has been nice, because, like, me and my boyfriend and my best friends and my best friends who are my roommates, like, we all got to spend some time together. Like, we watched some movies, we watched some Disney movies, like, we watched Frozen. Frozen was actually suggested when you went on Disney Plus. Like, it was like, do you want to watch this? And I was like, yeah, you know. So I would love to look up how many people are watching that. Clearly, I love Frozen. Like, I love Frozen! I love Elsa. Like, when we started watching Frozen, I was like, oh no, a woman, you know, who has powers, she doesn't want them, but she must take on a role of leadership that she also doesn't want. Oh, the eldest daughter, no, I love Frozen. I love Frozen so much. This is my collector's doll, this Elsa right here. She's a doll from, like, when the movie first came out, and she was, like, she's such good quality, and I remember her and Anna, it's a 2-pack, and Anna's just as nice. They came in a 2-pack back in the day, and it was $50 for the 2-pack. And this doll is so nice. Like, her face mold is beautiful. Her dress is made of really nice fabric. It's really well constructed. Like, she's so beautiful. And it's just crazy to me because, like, this is another tangent, but, like, Disney just dropped High School Musical dolls for the 20th anniversary, and they only dropped 3 of them. And one Sharpay doll that kind of looks like shit, like, which I still want her, but she's $100. Disney, why 10 years ago could I buy 2 dolls for $50 that are beautiful and stunning and gorgeous and literally the best quality dolls on this shelf, quite frankly. Why could I buy them for $50 in a 2-pack, and now one Sharpay doll that high-key sucks is $100? You're gonna piss me off. Can I stay on topic today? No, because I was talking about losing my mind. Are you guys gonna get that ASMR for my little hand fidget squishy thing? Probably annoying. That's where I'm at. We're busting out the hand fidgety thingy. Anyways, ingesting the news. It's hard. It's hard to stay up with all that. Like, if you just focus on the bad parts of it, like, it's gonna stay feeling bleak. But yeah, I would say for people who struggle to ingest the news, because the way the media bombards you with it is also so, like, designed to overwhelm you. So it's like, on top of being sick, then doing that to myself, not good. And I'm really trying to get better about it, like being on my phone and stuff like that, but it really is an addiction. Someone who talks about this a lot, like, if you don't listen to Brittany Broski, like, she's incredible. Like, I love her podcast. Like, she's such an inspiration to me. Like, I literally love Brittany Broski so freaking much. She's such an icon. Let's not get on the Brittany Broski tangent, but she talks a lot about, like, cell phone addiction, how it really is, like, an addiction. Like, I've been also looking at a lot of, like, I've been seeing this meme that's so true about, like, if, like, a Gen Z person asks another Gen Z person, like, oh, do you do drugs? And they're like, no, not for real, except I've been on Adderall since I was 10, and, you know, I smoke weed every day a couple times a day, and I drink 3-4 times a week, but, like, other than that, like, and, you know, I've had a nicotine addiction since I was 13, but, like, other than that, like, no, I don't do drugs. And then the other Gen Z person's like, yeah, like, that's not doing drugs. And that is really crazy. Drug culture in Gen Z is really insane. Like, really, really pretty. I mean, I know millennials with drug problems too, believe me. But it is insane. And so it's just like, what the fuck am I talking about? That's a meme I've been thinking about, because it's true and it's relevant. Oh, but Brittany Broski was talking about, and she talks about this very, very well, and I like how she breaks it down, but she breaks it down as, like, a cell phone addiction, like, when they say it's an addiction, like, it's an addiction, and it's like, it is, like, the same thing about how Gen Z people are like, oh, I don't do drugs. It's just, like, I think we are so used to addiction. Like, we were just developing addiction since we were kids, like, the sugar we intake and everything. It's just, like, gosh, the whole thing is just, and that's, again, not to be bleak, I'm not trying to be bleak, but I have been feeling the bleakness. Like, it happens to me, too. Like, even your optimistic friends who you're like, how do they do it all the time? They don't. They're just, I think the people who are overly optimistic, know that, like, we aren't that optimistic all the time, but, like, we are always going to put up that optimistic front for others, because we want other people to indulge in that optimism with us, because, like, human emotions are literally infectious. Like, there literally was, like, I think it was a Stanford study, and they ended up studying it on accident, but basically, like, they found, like, your emotions are genuinely, like, infectious to other people. So I think that's why optimistic people always put up that front of optimism, because we want other people to lean into that. But my whole point is, yeah, like, if you are someone who can't ingest the news in that way, in this very abusive way that we are expected to take in the news, which, like, literally you have to learn a skill to take that in, like, to take in the news the way it is, like, you know, and kind of have that journalistic mind, and it's, like, okay that, like, not everyone is there, and I hate that online people just expect this like monotone culture of how people take in the news and ingest it and come to their conclusions. It's like everyone has to do it in a way that's safe for them, because at the end of the day, like all of us are being victimized by the system right now in trying to disable us from continuing to go about our lives. Like, they're trying to, again, the whole thing is like the amount of protests that's going on. Like, they want us to lay down and not just take it, and they kind of expected us to just hand the country over, and that's not what we're doing, because a lot of the people who grew up, like my generation, who grew up with like Trump as president when we were kids, now that we're adults and can do something and we have a say like where our money goes and stuff like that, and like can use our voices, like we've been angry since we were children. Like, we were never just gonna lay down and let this happen. But point is, like, optimistic people, keep being optimistic. I'm proud of you guys and trying to help educate other people. And then the people, everyone who's in the right place but like can't ingest it, like, stop. You don't have to feel guilt about that. Like, I just hate this culture of making people who can't ingest that stuff in truly the very abusive way that we are expected to ingest this very graphic, violent news. Like, you can't feel shame around that either, because it's very reasonable, I think. And this is why it's important that we have exchanges like this and with other people that we trust who we can get that information from. Because, like, certain news, too, I can't take in. Even me. Like, and my boyfriend follows stories that I don't follow because it's easier for him to ingest those. And I follow ones that he doesn't follow, and we kind of, we're each other's trusted sources. So that's all about the exchange of information. I didn't even know I was having that conversation today. I'm really embracing the whole Yapathon aspect of this. In this all same realm, I want to do my good news segment. The good news segment is that despite it being -20 outside, the situation in Minnesota, over 50,000 people came out to protest, which is, like, the videos, like, if they weren't suppressed for you, they're insane. Like, the time lapse of, like, the protest moving was really powerful to see. So, for the good optimistic news, like, despite how truly terrifying that situation, the whole situation throughout the country is, dealing with how, ICE is rampaging through our country. Like, to see that, like, who expected Minnesota to put up this much of a fight? Like, that is incredible, that just, like, the amount of everyday people who are going out there and are truly putting their lives on the line to do the right thing. Like, it's a beautiful thing to see. And I was having a conversation with someone recently who was saying, doing, of course, what a lot of people do, and we make the comparison to the Nazis in Nazi Germany and all, like, that situation. And what I said in response to them, so I think I would like to say this because I think a lot of people need to hear it, because I think we're giving them a little, like, they are white supremacists, like, they are Nazis, like, in their beliefs and their behaviors, but I also think calling them Nazis, it's a good thing, because it equates to evil. Like, we equate that word to evil, and we use that word to be like, you are the worst version of a human being. And I think that is very important. But I also think simultaneously the word, because the Nazis were so astoundingly evil, I think part of the reason the Nazis were so astoundingly evil was that they were unfortunately much smarter. They were much smarter than the Trump regime, and they what they were able to do and the effectiveness of what they were able to do to people, like, it was so evil because it was so well thought out, and you could tell they were very smart people, so it was truly just evil enacting, because it didn't come out of it didn't come out of a place of not understanding, like society around them. Like, they understood society so well and how they can manipulate society so well, and it was their kind of, like, high IQ level of thinking that made it so evil, because they had that much awareness. And I think, like, spiritually, what we're dealing with in America right now, it's like, yes, they have the heart of that evil, but they are not as intelligent as the Nazis. Like, they're just not. Like, to say Donald Trump is as intelligent as Hitler is just not... It's just... They're not... It's not the same. Like... And, again, I think the word is great for calling them evil, essentially, but in their actual... execution of I shouldn't have used that word. That's because that's not what word we have to use when talking about like how people are actually dying, but how they are enacting their plan is not going well for them at all. So I want to say that about that, and then in saying that, I think there's an element of like, they did not expect Minnesota to put up that big of a fight. Like, I would love to see how many people live in Minnesota. Like, what level of their... What amount of their population was that? Population of Minnesota. Okay. Around 5.7 million. Okay. And it's a pretty big state? It's a pretty big state. It looks about the same size. It's a pretty big state. So, what amount of their population is that? It's a very large percent, and the thing is it's something crazy. Like, you only have to have, like, and the whole state, too, is on, like, strikes. Like, the unions are organizing to strike and stuff like that. So, like, those are the people just physically showing up to that protest, but there's easily, like, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of more people participating in this strike. And it only takes about, like, 10% of a population, like, less than, to make a strike effective. So, they are successfully striking and protesting right now, even though they haven't gotten ICE out of their city yet. It's just, like, they weren't expecting Minnesotans in negative 20-degree weather to put up this much of a fight. So, and it's what I was saying, the difference when I was talking to this person about the difference between the Nazis and what's happening in America right now, is that the Nazis, for the most part, and especially Hitler, were extremely well liked. Like, the majority of the German population, like, he had the majority of the populace's approval. That is not what's happening in America right now. Also, America is literally, like, 50 times more, like, 100 times the size of Germany. Like, it's not, like... We're not Europe. It'd be like, it would be like all of Europe trying to have to come together, trying to get every single different European country to come together to overthrow, like, the UN. You know? It's just not, the situations are very different, and I think the comparisons are good to deepen, I think, almost, like, the moral understanding of what's happening, like, ethically what we're dealing with, but I think we also have to look at the situation and understand that this situation in actuality and, like, what's playing out in front of us is very different, and we can't necessarily use World War II as a one-to-one history thing, because we're not going to go in that same direction, because it is a different situation. And I think my hope core thing about what I think is different with this is that, one, ICE and Trump, anyone who's working for Trump is a yes man. He's dwindled down. This is how you stay a dictator. Like, you have to get rid of all the people you think are smarter than you, because it's Game of Thrones. Like, you don't want to be overthrown by someone smarter than you. So you get rid of all your smart people. It's like what Trump has done. He's gotten rid of smart people, quotes, you know, but, like, more confident people who could actually get shit done. Like, that's why he got rid of Mike Pence, you know? Like, he has dwindled down, gotten rid of anyone who was in a yes man, and now he only has an echo chamber, and it's just full of morons and power-grabbing hungry people who are waiting for him to, you know? Like, they're waiting for it to happen just as much as we are. And so, you just have this yes man regime that is gonna keep imploding in on itself, because Donald Trump and his people are not smart, they're just power hungry, you know, and they have a level of viciousness that they attack their that they attack with to get this power. Like, I don't deny that, but it's not intelligent. It's just like, what it is like we're dealing with like a bear attack. This is brute strength, and it's because the bear is so powerful that it can attack. But like, it isn't, we're not dealing with like an AI bear. Like, or not AI bear. That's, what am I trying to say? Like, a futuristic, like, I'm imagining cyborg, robot, like, bear. I guess we don't even equate AI with intelligence anymore. We equate AI with being stupid, which is so interesting that, like, back in the day in sci-fi, you would equate that with, like, hyper-intelligence, and now we equate it with being stupid. Interesting. But, we're not dealing with, like, something highly, highly intelligent. Like, we're not dealing with, like, let's say, like, a superior alien species. You know, like, we're not dealing with that. Like, it's a different fight. Like, we're not dealing with intelligence. We're dealing with, like, brute strength. And so, whereas the Nazis had both. Okay? And so, what's happening is, we're sending in morons who, that's why they're willy-nilly shooting people, because they're not thinking. Like, they're hateful people who don't have the ability to understand the consequences of their actions. And so then you're putting that up against mass organized, very intelligent protests. And the more we flood them with that, the more we resist. Like, we're gonna, if it turns into us being brute strength, like, they have more consolidated power that they're inflicting, and they have the state and the courts and the stuff, like, I would say, some of the courts on their side, air quotes, whatever. But it's like, now with every protest and every act of resistance, we get more powerful. We're starting to be able to match their power, and like, we just have to keep sending waves and waves and waves of protest and strikes, one after another, to beat that brute strength. Like, it is like a strength battle right now, and the more we endure and the more we protest, like, I really, really see us, like, getting there. And like, best case scenario is, and yes, this doesn't take away anything that's horrible that happened. It doesn't, if we all work together and everything like that, does everything immediately get fixed? No. Like, even if we get the people we want in and everything, but if you just, protests like this show that it is possible to continue to, shake up this regime and truly, truly make them scared of us, which is what needs to happen, We have a right to protest in this country. Like, that is one of the, the concept, there are so many concepts in this country that are really, truly beautiful that I think a lot of people still believe in. And so, my hope core is that, we right now as a society are learning to work together in a way that our society has not learned to work together in a very, very long time. And that healing, even though it doesn't erase anything that is what happened, it's still a beautiful thing that we're watching happen. And we have to appreciate that and continue to feed that energy so that we can turn the ship around. That's the hope core message. Hope that made sense. Hope that made sense when I spoke. Because, I don't know. This is, the Yapathon is real. Like, I just, yep. That's where we're at. Okay? So, what else have I been doing during this snowstorm? If you were wondering, I started playing Fortnite. And I kind of think I have a Fortnite addiction now. Speaking of addictions, I have a Fortnite addiction. I've been getting those #1 victory royales. I've wanted to get into Fortnite for a long time. Because I'm a very angry person, as we all know. I struggle with the feeling of rage and hate in my heart. From time to time, as hopeful and optimistic and wonderful and sweet as I am, I'm filled with rage and hate. And I always knew that if I could get into a first-person shooter game, like, get into playing those, be good at those, like, it would be good for me. And I've also always really wanted to play and get into them because my little brothers play them, and my brothers are still, like, they're teenagers now. I was gonna say kids, but hey, you're a kid when you're a teenager. You are. And if you're a teenager listening to this, I hate to break it to you, you're a kid. Even though you're like, I'm a teenager now. That's just a big word for kid. But I've wanted to play Fortnite for a long time so that I could play with them. And I tried to learn and I was bad and I don't like being bad at things, so I would get angry and then I would quit. And even in college, like I made my own account and I bought Bakugo from My Hero Academia as a skin in Fortnite, and I was like I tried to play and I sucked. And then my roommates play, and so I'd been watching them play a lot because they play all the time. And that was like kind of helping me like understand like the gameplay elements, and watching them play kind of was helping me become good at the game. Because then I would play rounds and stuff like that. So I reopened up my account and I was just scrolling on there. I was like, I think I'm going to try to play. This was a couple days ago. This is how this all started. And I reopened my account, logged in, and I was scrolling through the shop. I was like, maybe I should try to play again. Like, I only have one skin. I only have Bakugo from My Hero Academia. And I'm like, like, maybe I'll try playing this again. Like, it'll be snowy this weekend. Maybe I can, like, play with my brothers. This must have been Thursday. If today's Monday. So this is the full timeline. This started on Thursday, and I'm going through the shop, and I see Catwoman on there, and I love Catwoman. Love Catwoman. Any character like that. Catwoman from Batman and Black Cat from Spider-Man. Love both of those girlies. Love, 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 love. And I said to my boyfriend, I turned to him, and I did that annoying girlfriend thing. I was like, will you get this for me? And he was like, well, only if you get the #1 victory royale, like on your first try. And I was like, okay. But he already bought me the skin. He bought me the skin before I even tried to play. So I now have Catwoman. And I load up a solo game. And guys, I won on my first try. I was like, and that changed. Something has changed within me. Something is not the same. Like, that was me. That was me. After I won Fortnite. After I got that #1 victory royale. Like, I'm through with playing by the rules of someone else's game. Put me on Broadway already. Guys, I hit the bong and I just did that. Put me on Guys, can they just let me be on Broadway already? No, actually, no. We won't get into my grievance with Broadway right now. That's a whole different episode. And we'll unpack that a different day. Okay, moving on. And we're talking about Fortnite right now. Right now we're talking about Fortnite. Alright. I got that #1 victory royale, and from there, a demon possessed me. The Fortnite demon possessed me. I got the battle pass. For those of you who don't know what a battle pass is, because I didn't know either. I asked multiple times, multiple people, and I still didn't understand it for a while. But basically, when you get the battle pass, it's like $12 a month, and they have basically like, the more you play, the more you can unlock, and then they give you different challenges to do, and it's fun. It's so much fun. I love unlocking things. The serotonin it gives me. It's like quick, cheap serotonin, and also I like it because I have to concentrate. Like, I can't think about anything else I'm playing. Like, you have to just stay really focused, and like locked in, and it's so nice. It forces me to be really present, which sounds stupid when you're like, I'm playing a video game, but I said earlier, I struggle with disassociation, so I like how present and alert I have to be. And it's a little addicting. I'm getting those #1 victory royales, guys, over and over again. And I have the little girly pop characters. I've tried really hard. Like, I literally grinded because there was this one character to unlock in the battle pass, and I unlocked her, right? But then you have to do extra special challenges to unlock her, like, special skins. And skins in Fortnite, if you don't know, are just like basically different outfits. And so, or outfits in different characters. And so to unlock a different outfit for her, like the legendary outfit for her, like I really had to grind. Like, I was playing Fortnite for like 3 hours trying to unlock this. But then it's so fun because then when you're playing and you have that, like, it says a lot about you. Like, it's so fun. Like, I like how whimsy Fortnite is. Like, at one point, if you don't know this in the game, because I didn't know this, Marge Simpson, don't shoot at her. because she'll KO you, like she'll clock you, okay? And I was another player, because there's all these different players, like there's so many, I love how many different characters, like it's like the craziest crossover episode. It's literally Avengers Endgame, like it's crazy. And you just will run into anyone, and I want Sabrina Carpenter. I want Sabrina. Oh my, I want Sabrina. I gotta get her. So I'll get Sabrina. I will get Sabrina. I'm keeping an eye out for Sabrina on Fortnite. Oh my gosh. And when, you know what I'm gonna do when I get done with this podcast? I'm gonna go play Fortnite. I'm gonna go get that #1 victory royale, guys. Trust, I'll get that #1 victory royale. It's gonna happen, okay? But I love doing the girly pop skin, and I love killing what I know is a man who's playing with like a beefy man skin. Is like, I'm so masculine, I'm playing Fortnite. And I know when my little girly pop that like you have to do special things to unlock that skin. And it's just like knowing, like you can kind of look at the skins, like you see someone playing with a certain skin, like you know they kind of had to grind for that certain skin, and it says something about you. So that tells them, like when I kill them, like someone playing with like a beefy man skin, like thinking that this is the most masculine thing they can be doing is playing Fortnite. Fortnite's silly, and it's not masculine. And if you think you're masculine for playing Fortnite, no, you're silly. Like, Fortnite's like, oh, my point about Marge Simpson is an NPC, and she will body you. And I didn't know that, and she bodied me. And my boyfriend was like, why would you shoot at Marge? I was like, I don't know, because why wouldn't I? It's Fortnite, we're shooting people. He was like, don't shoot at Marge Simpson. It was like, she was like Herobrine. Like, I was scared. Can we put Herobrine? I want to be Herobrine in Fortnite. Can I get that? I also need One Piece in Fortnite, okay? I want to be Nami or in Sanji in Fortnite. If they have put One Piece for Fortnite, I do gotta get all the characters out. I'm dropping bans for them on Fortnite. Also, Ariana's on here. I need Ariana. God, there's so many. And then I really stay grinding for those V-Bucks. I stay grinding for those V-Bucks on the Fortnite Battle Pass so that I can get the skins that I want. Okay, but so I love really girly popping up my characters, and then the emotes at the end are so fun, because I shoot, I get that beefy man who thinks playing Fortnite is masculine. I ruin his whole day because he knows a little girly pop just killed him. And then I do my little girly silly emote. I also have this one I have this one skin that you can customize, and it's a girl with like red hair and green eyes, so like me when I don't dye my hair, and like me what I look like when my hair isn't, well, I guess this is orange right now, but I thought, whatever, you know what I'm trying to say. But so she looks like me, but then she's in a onesie that you can customize. She's in a cat onesie, and you can customize, and I put photos of Deku on it because that's like something I earned when I bought Bakugo. And so then and then she has this like little emote like of her like playing like a cat piano, and I love weebing out on people because then they're like, oh, this my hero weeb just killed me. I don't know, there's something about it that really, I love Fortnite. I love getting those victory royales, pretty much. Yeah. Okay, so this week with my writing for Andromeda, I wrote a chapter, I finished editing a chapter that I had been writing for a long time, and I finally, finalized it, I think, and it was so heat that it really, I also just haven't been feeling good, but I took a pause on writing. I didn't write as much this week as I usually wrote, but I just, wrote such a heat chapter that I really just have been having to sit with it. I've been like, whew. It was too fire. It was too cool. And yeah, but also in general, I think what I've been talking about this whole podcast is we do have to allow ourselves some break time to really, and not feel guilt around really taking the breaks that we need and deserving to rest. Rest is not a worthiness thing. It is, and this is something I struggle with and still deconstruct, and I was really beating myself up for this while I wasn't feeling good this week because, I feel like I have such a fortunate life, and I'm very grateful for a lot of things, the things that I have and the positions that I'm at in life. I'm very, very grateful that I get to live the life that I do. So in knowing that and trying to, embrace that and stay grateful for all the really incredible things that I have access to, I will then feel guilty when I give myself rest time because I know others might not have the option of taking rest. It's so unfortunate that rest is like such like a luxury now. Like, and all of us, everyone is so exhausted, and even from the position that I come from, where right now I am very fortunate that I can take time to rest. It's I used to not be in that position, so I also understand like what it's like to have to fight every single day and go to work even when you don't want to and stuff like that because you literally don't have a choice. So I think because I've been in that position, it is hard for me now that I do have a partner that I can fall back on who can help me out and stuff, and I can take the time to rest, and I have a support system where I can rest. I know I very much struggle with it. But that's all to say, like, no matter your position you are, like, when you can rest, take it, and don't ruin the rest by feeling guilty while resting, because then you're really not truly resting. Like, that's not actually the relaxation you need, and then it's just this vicious cycle of, like, oh my gosh, I laid down and I still didn't even rest, and that was something I really had to, like, lay down for, like, 4 days and not do anything for, like, 4 days because I ruined part of my rest by feeling guilty about it. So, that's all to say, like, rest is not a worthiness thing. Everyone has a right to it. Everyone has a right to go within themselves and take that peace that they need for themselves to keep going. Like, everyone has a right to that. And I have to remind myself that just because I'm in a more fortunate position than I used to be in, my position that I'm in, I'm so grateful for it. Resting doesn't make me ungrateful for where I've gotten in life. Something I've been thinking about. But yeah, so I haven't written in a bit, but it was heat, and I can't wait for you guys to see it someday. Like, it's such a good chapter. It's so cool. And I'm not going to tell you what happens in it, because I don't want to ruin anything, but it's Bruto Jolene, like, it's a Bruto Jolene, like, fight scene, and part of the reason I love Fortnite so much, back to Fortnite, back to my Fortnite skins collection, I love Fortnite because it is a point-and-shoot game, and my main character, like, she is a sharpshooter. She's the best gunman in the whole galaxy. And I think for that aspect, I really enjoy Fortnite. And so I haven't since been working on my book. I've been doing research on how to, because that's the thing, I do have to do a lot of research because I've never shot a gun in my life. Like, I don't know, and I'm pro gun right. Like, how do I say this? I might have said that wrong. Like, we need amendments to protect people from guns. Like, I'm not as much of a fan of. I am not a fan of guns in real life. In real life, guns I think are bad. In storytelling and in action games, they're fun. They're fun. But in real life, bad. But that's why we have books and stories. Because that's fine. And that's not hurting anybody. Anyways, so why I love Fortnite, my book is heat, it's fire, you should be excited for it, and you should buy it when it goes on pre-sale someday, and I got that #1 victory Royale, yes, well, yes, and yes. Every week it's something new. We pretty much, I'm going to do a tarot reading, and then we're going to wrap up this podcast. I think it's a shorter pod today, but that's just where we're at in life, and we just talked about being worthy of rest, and hopefully I've helped you rest, like relax while you're listening to this podcast. But also I'm going to, deprive you of that relaxation because I'm going to wrap it up early, so my bad. But still find time to relax, and I hope all of your, being snowed in has been good and pleasant and not as, like, anxious as mine has been. I'm hoping everyone did get time to relax. I hope this episode was also coherent, because I don't know. I don't know if it was. I don't even know what's going on anymore. Anyone know what's going on? Okay, we're just gonna do the tarot reading of, like, what we all need to hear right now. Oh, okay. We got the 10 of Cups. Reversed, I should say. The Page of Swords reversed. Two of Cups reversed. The World reversed. Okay, well, we got all very blue cards. I think what's interesting is we got all very, very blue cards, and they're all... Oh, well, actually, if I look at it this way, it's reversed for me, but if I'm giving you the reading, they're all upright. So good news. So we actually have all really, really nice cards here, which was not what I was expecting at all. Let me get into the right, like, channel headspace. I really gotta stay with it. Let me pull one more. Oh, and then we got the Devil above it, but that one's in reverse. Okay, interesting. I wish you could see this setup, because... Okay. But that does bring more clarity to it. Okay. This kind of goes into what I was saying entirely this whole episode. We have this inherent darkness that we are all sitting with right now. And we are being forced to look at, it's making it look at it societally, we're looking at it internally, we're seeing it in our family, we're seeing it in our friends, we're seeing how this affects, we're seeing the effects of the world, really how much the world, even if you try to block out politics, you try to block out anything that's happening to you, that isn't happening directly to you, like, people are finally starting to see generally how interwoven everything is. And I think people are starting to dream of, right, you have the World, the Two of Cups, Page of Swords, and then the Ten of Cups. So that's like, those are like the most beautiful cards. Like, with the Page of Swords, it's like, everyone wants to have that internal power to go on the adventure to become the person they want. You know, the financial freedom in the family they want, the partner that they want, and the world just having their idealized reality. Like, everyone is seeing how interconnected the problems are and how that's weighing us all down and how none of us can really live out any of our true desires to the fullest because they're all overshadowed by this dark weight. But what I'm seeing is with this one card over all four of these cards, it's like that dream, that goodness does not, there is more of it in our hearts than the darkness that like sits on top of it. Like, the darkness is not meshed with ourselves. Like, we are not, the darkness can't intertwine with the light. Like, it's not, like, they don't mix, you know, it's oil and water, they don't mix. And it's like this oil is on the surface and it's blocking some of the light getting through to us. If, like, we imagine we're at the bottom of a lake, like the bottom of like a seabed, like a coral reef, like, you know, the light, it's harder to shine through. This oil sitting on top, it's dark, it's disgusting, it's gross, but it's like, you still, like, you have the whole ocean, the whole ecosystem, the whole everything. And yes, we're being poisoned from the top down, but in the grand scheme of things, like, if we work hard, like, we can get rid of this oil, we can take it out. It won't be forever, like, fused with, like, the ocean, with the ecosystem, you know? We're seeing it as, like, this surface thing that is not inherently who we are or what we want for most people. That, I'm gonna pull more cards. I feel like there's more to say. Okay. So we have the Eight of Pentacles, the Seven of Wands, and the Five of Wands. Okay. So, right, this is going back to earlier what I was saying about relaxing and, like, accepting what's yours. We all have to, you have to live in the mindset that, like, the abundance that you seek and the dreams you seek and what your vision of the world will come true. You, like, have to live in that delusional mindset. And I think some people think if you live in that delusional mindset, then you're not living in reality and you can't handle the situation appropriately the way it actually needs to be handled if you don't take it seriously enough. But that's not true. Like, if you have hope that something can be better, it will make what needs to be transformed it will be more transformative if you can believe it can turn into something better and good and not just something mediocre. And we all to do this fight to get us where we want to go, and this is all applicable to like our own personal lives and our own personal darkness, but also the world at itself. It's like we have to do both personal battles with ourselves, and we have to do those first. We have to do this internal work so that we can change the relationships that we have out in the real world. Like we can change the dynamics of the people that we interact with, because who we interact with and we spend our time with and how they treat us really is a reflection of how we treat ourselves and what we are, the type of energy we allow in our lives. So I'm seeing right now that this personal deconstruction of the darkness within ourselves, you know, you have to do that. Focus on the light in all of this is if you focus on your own personal darkness and transforming that and becoming the best version of yourself, that will help you tackle all the problems out in the real world, in your own personal life, and in the bigger scheme of things. And so at the end of the day, like, we're all fighting for this abundance, for the lives that we want. And to get to that point, like, the true message of this is just focus on yourself. Like, and it sounds antithetical to what I'm saying about, like, collectivism and, you know, helping others and being the best version of yourself. How can I be the best version of myself if I'm being self-centered? Like, be self-centered in a selfless way. Like, want to work on yourself and know that you can be the best version of yourself, the most reliable version of yourself, so that you can be there for others. Like, always live your life in a way where if someone were to look at your life and go, how should I live mine? They can be inspired by yours, you know? Even if, like, you're the person who, you know, you have to put up boundaries and not talk to certain family members, or, you know, and then you're the villain in your family because you cut that person off. Like, that is still, like, even if you're going to be the black sheep, like, you being the black sheep somewhere is being the light somewhere for someone else and teaching them how to live their life in a way authentically. Like, always being authentic and always living from a place of love and learning to self-love and do that self-work, that focusing on yourself and focusing on your own abundance to make sure that, like, you know, in a not selfish way, in a selfless way, focusing on your abundance is the greatest gift you can give to the world right now, is focusing on yourself and focusing on your own happiness and lifting up your energy, because when you lift up your energy, you lift up everyone around your's energy. Even like the example I was giving earlier of, like, if you're the black sheep in your family because you had to leave you had to cut off certain people, or like even a friend group cut off certain people, like, even the person who wants to act like you're harming them, even them, you are bringing them up too, because even if they're angry, that anger is a step in the right direction for them to look at what they've done to drive the people away in their lives. And that honesty, no one's ever given them that honesty, which is why they're so angry, because everyone else has just been a yes man to them their whole lives. And at the end of the day, like, their connection with you is almost more important because you're the only person who at least was authentic to them. And so even if, like, in situations like that, you know, like, where you're, in air quotes, the bad guy, like, you are still lifting up those other people's energy. So the greatest thing you can do, and the most selfless thing you can do, is to focus on your own mental health and deconstructing these things and being the best version of yourself and showing others that you can relax and you can live in an authentic way. Like, living in authenticity is always is the thing to do right now, whatever that looks like for you. We'll draw the animal card, and then we'll read it. We got the horse, which is actually interesting because it is the year of the horse. So, for the first tarot reading of this year, that's so interesting. Okay. We're getting there, guys. This thing is not, like, well numbered. Like, I don't like how this book is set up. Okay. Did I skip it? Did I go past it? Certainly not. I don't think I'm going crazy. Girls, I can't find this. What the hell? What the helly? Why is it not in the book? Girlies, I'm really looking. I'm really searching. What the hell? I'm not tripping. This... Guys, I'm on the straight struggle bus. What the hell? We're gonna find this. We're gonna do it. Okay, we found it. Geesh! The horse. Momentum, freedom, expansive energy, and force. The horse represents the most masterful form of earth energy within the deck. It provides us with momentum so reliable, so supportive, that you can ride on its back towards any goal, no matter how difficult the terrain. A horse personality is fully awakened, fully alive, and cannot be defeated. The horse's freedom becomes available to us when we hone and collect our energy through daily practices. Physical stamina, exercise, and mental focus, meditation, are the secret weapons behind the horse's legacy. Is that not literally what I was saying? I love this deck. This deck always, every time, like, the card that I pulled to finish up the story is, like, so magical. It's, like, it is exactly that energy. And, like, this is the year of the horse, like, which is so beautiful. I'm so glad that we pulled this card, because this is what this year is about, embodying that energy of, like, the stamina and the resilience, and, like, we're running towards our goals. It's our strength. It's our, you know, I think we think of horses as, like, very stoic, like that stoic, beautiful, graceful energy of being able to just, it's that energy of, like, and taking care of ourselves. And it's like, it literally, like, you know, the horse's freedom becomes available to us when we hone and collect our energy through daily practices. It's like exactly what I was saying with that final message of just focusing on ourselves. And if we bring about the things we want in our lives, it will reflect out into the world. And just believing in that manifestation, and those dreams and those hopes and those prayers are, like, the only thing we can do. And it is, you know, all of that sounds fluffy and beautiful, but it is about strength and the courage to face our own inner demons, and then to the level of self-respect we have within ourselves is then reflected out into the world with who we choose to surround ourselves with. And then all of it is a mirror. So just, like I said with the original message, just keep focusing on yourself, and the best thing you can do is improve your own life and inspire others to take accountability for theirs. I think that's the end of the podcast this week. I know, a little bit of a shorter episode, but I'm tired. You guys, I'm sure, are tired. I hope you are staying safe at home in the cold, and love you guys so much. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week for our next Yapathon. And keep a look out for Tea Talk, because I'm about to have a very special guest on and have a new episode of Tea Talk soon. So I'm Brinly Schreier, and I love you guys, and I'll see you next week. Bye!